Filming for the Power Rangers reboot is set to begin in January 2026 and will be directed by the same directors as the Percy Jackson series. This series about the demigod is created for a young audience, but any adult can enjoy it. Percy Jackson is rated TV PG, which means it may contain material that is not appropriate for young children and adult supervision is recommended. A series or movie with this rating may include mild language, mild or moderate violence, mild suggestive or mature themes, inappropriate humor, in situations that young children would not fully understand. I mention all this because the new Power Rangers series is supposed to be aimed at a more mature audience as well, but we don't know what rating it will have, and this could change many things. Power Rangers has always been a fairly violent series, as there are always fights and monster destruction, but they never show blood or death directly. However, if they want the new series to be for a more adult audience, then they will likely have to add darker violence, blood, and perhaps a different and more direct form of death. Despite this, if the directors of Percy Jackson are also going to direct Power Rangers, there is a possibility that they will make the series with the same rating as the Percy series. This is not a complaint. I think the Percy Jackson series has enough violence and blood, although for Power Rangers it would be better if everything were a little raw. We're not thinking of anything like an R rating, but I think a rating a little more graphic than TV PG would be better. Despite this, let's analyze the Percy Jackson series a little to understand the quality of the directors, and although we know they don't do everything, we can say that they have a certain level of quality that they won't let change in Power Rangers. If you haven't seen any of the Percy Jackson seasons and plan to watch it at some point, be warned that this video will contain spoilers. If you've only seen the first season and haven't started watching the second season yet, be warned that there will also be spoilers for the second season. All of us who have seen the Percy Jackson series know that its quality is not on par with Avatar, as they obviously have two very different budgets, but this series has managed to achieve very good quality. That's why many Power Rangers fans who have seen the Percy Jackson series were very happy to learn that the directors of this series are going to create the new Ranger universe. I am not an expert on the Percy Jackson stories, I have only seen the first movies and this new series, but I can confirm that this story is very entertaining. Although the first movies were entertaining, the series has been much better since they have made a more serious project with fewer silly things. This makes me understand that the directors of the series seek to capture the essence of a franchise or story and turn it into something respectable that makes fans proud. The story of the Percy Jackson series is very well told and takes you step by step along the way, something that is always very important in any project. When a story is difficult to understand, it can become boring, and this is a big problem because when the story is boring, nothing else matters. As I said before, I am not an expert on the Percy Jackson story, and some things may have changed, but we must remember that the writers of this series are the original author of the novel and one of the directors of the series. One important thing is that, even though I'm not an expert on this story, I was able to enjoy it, understand it, and connect with it, which is very necessary for the Power Rangers series. For 30 years, Power Rangers was created for a small number of people, but this time they must seek to reach the masses if they want to revive the franchise. In order to reach the masses, you have to make the story easy to understand, enjoyable for everyone, and relatable to all viewers. This is basically what the Percy Jackson series has achieved, as I am part of the masses for that story, since I am not a die-hard fan who has read all the books or knows all the lore. That's why we hope the directors of this series can achieve the same thing with Power Rangers, but without destroying everything that fans love. The 2017 Power Rangers movie tried to reach the masses by creating a more basic story and not delving too deeply into the story or its essence. If we ask anyone who has seen that movie and is not a Power Rangers fan, they will most likely say that they liked it or thought it was a very good movie. This is because, in reality, that movie is not a bad movie, it is a very entertaining movie that has drama, action, comedy, suspense, and science fiction. However, Those of us who are familiar with the franchise know that the film is a bit far removed from the essence of Power Rangers and that it failed in many aspects that are symbolic of the franchise. This is precisely the challenge facing the directors of Percy Jackson, to turn the new Power Rangers series into something that fans will love, but that can also attract a new audience who will become fans as well. The best example of this is the Harry Potter films, as that franchise did not start with the films, it started with the books, and although many were already connected to the books, the reality is that it was a niche audience. However, the films managed to reach the masses and at the same time managed to turn many people into fans of the franchise. Despite this, the movies have sparked a series of discussions between old fans of the books and new fans of the movies due to all the changes made in the movies. Even with all these discussions, the reality is that the movies made the Harry Potter franchise legendary, as today that magical world is everywhere, and I'm sure many of you are fans of that world as well. Power Rangers is part of pop culture, but if we compare this franchise to the Harry Potter franchise, we realize that Power Rangers doesn't have as many fans. This is precisely what Power Rangers needs, a series that can reach the masses and become as big as the Harry Potter franchise. Perhaps the Percy Jackson series is not as big as Harry Potter, but sometimes that is because the central story is not as interesting to many people, which is why I think Power Rangers does have the opportunity to be bigger than Percy Jackson if they do a good job with the new series. Let's analyze the image quality of the Percy Jackson series. This series was filmed with new technology, so everything looks spectacular. One of the best things about this series is the lighting, as they manage to create emotions depending on the light, colors, and atmosphere. Another spectacular thing is the sets, as sometimes series tend to look poor quality due to terrible set choices. We know that many of the sets in this series are created digitally, but that's what creating a science fiction series is all about, masterfully combining the real and the digital. A great similarity between the Percy Jackson series and the Power Rangers franchise is the use of monsters, as both franchises feature some pretty weird monsters. This has always been a problem in Power Rangers because, as it is a children's series with a low budget, the monsters have always looked like cosplay costumes. Don't get me wrong, cosplay is spectacular, but when you have a science fiction project, you have to make the audience forget that what they are seeing is fake and make them feel that all those monsters are real. That's the biggest challenge for any science fiction project, and the Percy Jackson series does it very well. Let's hope that Power Rangers can also have special effects as incredible as those in Percy Jackson and that the series can be loved by fans and new audiences alike.